Alright, we're back. Rock God 2000. What are your favorite rock or metal CDs? That's a different question.
Okay, you want to go through them? We'll do it like this. Metal. Judas Priest.
Mushroom Head.
Judas Priest. Sad Wings of Destiny is mine. From Priest.
That's pretty good. But
Maiden.
Hell Bent for Leather is another
Yeah,
good
Hell
one.
Bent for Leather. Maiden, it would be
Seventh Son of a Seventh Son.
good. Somewhere in Time.
Somewhere in Time. Let's see. I actually think Brave New World is one of their better ones too.
I really like Megadeth's Peace Cells and Rust in Peace.
I like Megadeth.
I realize that.
How about you got to go rocking with some Dawkins? I don't really.
Diamond Head's Behold the Beginning is an awesome CD.
Metallica. How about Kill 'Em All and Injustice for All? I like that one.
That's a good album. Motorhead, Ace of Spades, Overkill, both good albums.
1916, which I think is underrated. March or Die in 1916 from Motorhead, or like the early 90s Motorhead, 90, 91, 92, something like that.
What about rock albums? We'll transition out of metal. I consider AC/DC to be rock. I don't consider them to be metal. So I'm gonna say AC/DC's Power Rage is probably my favorite. It's probably my favorite album of all time. So.
Yeah, I mean Bad Company, the original Bad Company album. That's definitely rock and roll. Led Zeppelin. I think Led Zeppelin 3 is fucking. That's probably become my favorite Led Zeppelin album.
It's good.
Let's see. What else? What else?
Well, you know how I am. I like anything by the Beatles too, so I would put like Abbey Road in there, probably the White Album.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize too that classic rock stuff. The Elton John classic first album, self-titled, then Goodbye Yellow Brick Road is probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite album.
That's a good album. That's good.
I didn't know you had that.
I got the album.
There's a lot of good music out there, though. Dio, we never mentioned Dio, and he's got stomach cancer.
He's not going to be long on this world.
And let me tell you this. I'll tell you that. I'm going to be honest with you. We went to that concert.
Be honest.
The one moment throughout that whole show where the performer, any one performer, could have had that crowd in the palm of their hands, that was Dio when he was singing Heaven and Hell. That was the only moment I had during that show that sort of gave me chill bumps, because this was a point in time when he could still sing at the level from back in the day. This was in 2003. It was just amazing. It was like one of the best songs I've ever seen live. When he did that one.
Yeah, I'd say like the first 4 albums that Dio actually did as like a solo artist were all good. Went downhill after that, but
yeah. But Holy Diver, you got to pick that one up.
Sacred Heart.
Yeah. Kiss. We never talked about Kiss.
Last in Line. Basically, every Kiss album, probably up to Dynasty, it was great.
And Creatures of the Night's pretty good.
Yeah,
too.
and that was the one that probably came after that was really good. Actually, Lick It Up, and
there was one that they released in
Revenge.
Revenge. That was a pretty decent one. That was like 94.
Okay, that's like 10 minutes on that one thing.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to get to. So that was Rock God 2000. Asked that. So.
Okay, Rosalba Nera. I believe this is the Australian.
Whoa!
Could be wrong.
Wow.
I think it is. It says, who do you think is a better filmmaker, George Romero or Dario Argento? Shit.
As far as a filmmaker goes, I would give it to Dario Argento. I'd have to, because that's one guy that can still make, in my opinion, great movies. And Romero, I like Romero a lot. We interviewed Romero. He was a really nice guy, really down-to-earth guy, and he's more fan-friendly than a lot of the directors go. And I think that's why he's got such a cult following, is he's just such a nice guy.
See, this is tough for me because, strictly speaking, I think that as far as making a film goes, that Romero is probably better than Argento. But like as far as revolutionizing the way that films are made and being able to make films that are visually interesting, like I don't think for the life of him, I don't think Argento can tell like a coherent fucking story from beginning to end. But I think that he makes the more interesting kind of movie. So I'd probably say Romero, just based on.
I think Argento though, just the visuals alone, and his movies just have this dreamlike. All of them, I mean, that I've seen, in my opinion, have this, especially the ones from the 70s and 80s. It's like you're in a dream, like something that you dreamed up, and nobody else has ever, that I've seen, has ever captured that like he has.
It's like a dream of mirrors.
Yeah, and he only dreams in black and white.
Let's see, he's got another one though. What is the most overrated movie in the history of horror?
Most overrated movie in the history of horror.
Shit.
We're going to piss somebody off regardless of what we say.
Overrated. Hostle's pretty fucking overrated.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even. I don't know if I'd put anything I like. I think they're maybe thinking of classics.
Poltergeist.
Yeah, Poltergeist is, but I think a lot of people don't like Poltergeist too. Or 3. I don't know. I mean, that's a hard question, actually. I don't know if this is most overrated horror film. I don't know. Could you consider Blade Runner a horror film? I think that was severely overrated.
Yeah, it's like definitely science fiction.
I don't know. That's a tough question, actually. I think there's a lot of movies that I think are given way more credit than they deserve. Like I like The Exorcist and everything, but I think that movie gets way too much credit. I mean, I'm sure it did a lot of stuff back in the day, and to be honest with you, I like Jaws. But I think that movie gets a little bit too much credit too, because really, Steven Spielberg made a movie that was similar to Jaws that nobody talks about, that I think is just as effective, and Duel, that came out like a year or two before Jaws.
I can't talk any shit about Jaws. I've seen that movie like 1,000 times.
I have too, but I just think that like people, they give movies like that way, way too much credit,
I don't say this. I think that the original Friday the 13th is slightly overrated to me. I mean, it's a good movie and everything, but the way that it's filmed and stuff, it's pretty generic looking. So
I think Friday the 13th Part 7 is pretty overrated too.
Yeah, especially when we went back and watched it.
Yeah. So, Traumatized Trailers says, I've seen all American horror movies worth seeing, and I want something that is original. I took a swan dive into foreign horror and have watched the most current French horror, Japanese horror, and old school Italian horror, mostly Mario Bava, Dario Argento, Lucio Fulci. What I'm asking is, are there any foreign directors or rare horror that you can suggest for good scares or extreme images? By the way, I've also gone through the Faces of Death and Cannibal Holocaust films. Best wishes, Alexander S. Brown, Esquire.
Foreign directors that he wants to be like really gory and shit, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
How about Umberto Lenzi? Have you watched any of his stuff?
It's a fucking guy that did the necromantic movies.
Jorg Boot Garrett. Have you watched any?
Yeah,
if you haven't watched his stuff,
go watch. Yeah, Jorg Boot Garrett and the necromantic movies. Go check those. Those would be the best suggestions we could probably give as far as like stuff that you have already mentioned.
Do you know who Fred Vogel is? He's not foreign, but I'd say like if you want some hyper gore stuff, that would definitely be it.
Also, we were reviewing the oh hell, what was that trilogy of stuff that we got in from Mexico? I think the Autopsy. You got it in from, I think it was Unearthed Films. We reviewed it a couple years ago.
Mexico.
I think it was Spanish or something like that. That guy was pretty good. You know, the scene where they actually doing
Nacho Cerda. The Aftermath.
Yeah, the autopsy thing. That was pretty amazing. That
He's not. I think he's Spanish. I don't think he's Mexican.
Well, Spaniard.
But yeah, and also the guinea pig movies. As far as like, that's just basically like the
unbelievable
same
gore.
Let's see. Oz Video Collection. What's your favorite horror film that has not yet been released on DVD but is on VHS? There's a couple I can think of, but
there's not a lot anymore though that really is something that I would want to watch over and over and over again. It's kind of hard, really. I mean, I would say The Town That Dreaded Sundown would be one that I would like to see come out.
Home Sweet Home.
Yeah, Home Sweet Home's. Although that was sort of out on a bootleg label.
I Was a Teenage Zombie is one that I really like that I don't think is out on DVD.
Blood Diner, which is actually coming out.
Yeah, that's probably the big one.
That one's coming out, you know. So that's a few. Country Trash, our good buddy Scabboy, asks, since you live in the South, they probably sell boiled peanuts in every convenience store. I was wondering if you like boiled peanuts.
They sell boiled peanuts?
You can get them around here, like at flea markets and stuff like that. I've tried them. I don't like them.
I tried them one time and I didn't like them.
They're like soggy. I don't know. Not for me, Scabboy.
They taste like mice fetus.
I wouldn't know, but I mean, I would imagine that the texture would be similar.
Let's see. He says, this is We Lover 07. I've been a fan. DEADPIT, my name on the message board is Andy the Zombie. I don't want to go through all the questions, but I'll ask it anyway. This question is for both of us. How many DVDs do you own? And how many DVDs do you think you own if you put your collections together? Oh, God. I don't have any idea.
I've got a DVD aficionado. You can go to creepykentuckian.dvdaf.com. That's got some of them on there. Like, there's a lot of the independent stuff that I've got that's not on there. I mean, I would say if I was putting a rough estimate on, I probably got about 2,000.
I have no idea at this point. I never.
Well, judging by how many I've got, I would say I've got about around 2,000. Give us a rough estimate. That's counting the Blu-rays and stuff too.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I've got that many. I'll say 1,500. I'll say that. So if we put them together, we'd have 3,500.
And the thing is too, we get rid of probably 100 DVDs a year on average. Stuff that we get in to review, we sell it at conventions or give it away.
Give it mostly you end up giving it away.
Yeah, because a lot of stuff people don't want to buy it. To be honest with you. What else is there? I got some more on there.
That was it.
All right, so the DVD Gamer. Will you be buried or cremated with your favorite horror DVDs and memorabilia? And will you be pissed if you don't go to hell?
I'm going to be upset. I'm looking forward to going like that.
I wonder though, like, whenever we do die, what the fuck they will do with all of our shit.
I'm quite positive they'll sell it.
Yeah, make a pretty good amount of money.
Have you ever thought about what you would do with it if, like, you died before I do? Would you bequeath it to me?
No.
If I die before you, know, be like buried in a coffin made of DVDs.
Oh, I'm all surrounded. Oh.
That'd be awesome.
Here's the thing though, man. Like, we have so many DVDs, but the bottom line is, of all these DVDs we've got, there's probably about 5% that we'll actually go back and watch.
I know. I've been thinking about that a lot lately, actually.
The other bunch of them, like, we're never ever going to watch them again. They're just going to be in there collecting dust for 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Until they
It's time to
go
stay.
bad.
Yes. Here we go. 3-part questions from Rabid Beaver Dam. What are your top 5 non-horror films? Kind of answered the top 1, didn't we?
Yeah. All the stuff I like is stuff that I grew up with. The Goonies is another one that, like, I just love that movie. I mean, I can remember as a kid, I've still got this VHS tape that I borrowed off my neighbor when I was about 7 or 8 years old, and I still have it. And I've watched that from that age onward until I got the DVD, and that's just, yeah, that's another one of my all-time favorites. And I would say, what's some other one?
I've got a couple in mind. Shawshank Redemption, Videodrome. I don't consider that to be a horror film. Empire Strikes Back. Probably Temple of Doom, because I remember that movie more so than I even remember, like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
Back to the Future has to be in there somewhere for me. So I'd put that one up there too.
I would say another one I really like a lot that I haven't talked about is Almost Famous, which it came out about 10 years ago. And the guy that directed that, Cameron Crowe, he hadn't done shit since then. I think that was like the big movie that he had for years. He had worked on for years, and it was just awesome. Like, I love rock movies about bands, or like any type of, like La Bamba with Lou Diamond Phillips. I'm a big fan of that movie. The Buddy Holly story with Gary Busey.
Rockstar.
Yeah, Rockstar. Eddie and the Cruisers. They're actually working on a movie about the Runaways right now. I'm looking forward to checking
Shit
it out.
my pants over that movie when it comes out.
Yeah. But other stuff, I mean, I like, Shawshank, I like that one a lot. The Green Mile is another one I got to watch again recently, which I think is probably better than, I like it a little bit better than Shawshank Redemption. What else? Star Wars. We didn't talk about that. That's up there.
I said Empire Strikes Back. I mean, if I was going to pick my favorite Star Wars movie, that'd be it.
I think I'd probably pick the first one. I love the first two is really good. What else? I actually like the Lord of the Rings movies a lot. You don't like those?
You stop that.
Yeah, well, shit.
Listen, he's got 2 more. Hold on. What do you prefer, Predators or Aliens?
Well, there were better Alien movies than there were Predator movies. Like, there was one good Predator film, and then Predator 2 fucking blew, man. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I hate that fucking movie. I don't know what it is about Danny Glover, but about anything he's in, I can't stand.
What would you say would be a better film, Aliens or Predator?
I like Predator better, I think, but I think the first 2 Alien movies, at least those were good. I can't say the 2 Predator movies were equally good.
I think, yeah, I'm going to have to go with just Aliens, just because I think the concept of that is better than what they ended up doing with Predator. Let's see, last one. If they made a movie where a bunch of horror icons fought against each other, like a battle royale, who would you want to see in it?
God.
Who do you think would be the winner? Etc., etc.
Well, you got to have Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, Buddy Bacon.
Gotta have Buddy Bacon.
Madman Mars, Leatherface, Ethel Hubbard, Crazy Fat Ethel, and the Battle of the Ethels.
Pluto.
You gotta have Pluto. You gotta have the Tall Man. Yeah,
I was looking around.
You gotta have the Fog. The Fog would win because there's no way
you can't defeat
you can't throw the Fog over the top rope. Okay. Hush on Hill's Horizon. No, wait. MB34655. MB34655. What do you guys think of Al Snow wrestling and review one of the movies he's in? I'm guessing this guy's made a movie with Al Snow in it.
What do I think about Al Snow's wrestling?
I met Al Snow a couple of times. I think he's a pretty cool dude.
He seemed to be a pretty good wrestler, especially in the beginning.
Yeah, he's a really good wrestler.
Yeah.
We'd review a movie with him in it, if this is Goose.
Just in case.
Yeah.
The Altair says, would you guys like to see a remastered widescreen DVD release of the classic and truly excellent horror compilation film Terror in the Isles?
Well, sure.
And would you also like to see a sequel to it that picks up from about 1984 onward with clips and scenes from some of the baddest ass movies during that time?
You can watch Boogeyman for that.
Yeah. There's a ton of movies that actually do that. That have clips and stuff from.
I would say, yeah, there was one that Dave Parker, Mike Mendez did, which you can't get, but they used to show it on TV all the time. Last time I saw it was on Sci-Fi. It was called Masters of Horror. This is before the. I think that was one of the better documentaries that nobody mentions.
What about the Dark Dreamers collection?
Are you a dark dreamer? My name is Stanley Beater. In this episode of Dark Dreamers, we're going to talk about the Dark Dreamers.